massive forest of flowers. Amazing. We have quite contrasting attitudes today in the readings, and contrasting realities make us ponder. We look at them, we compare them, we contrast them, we weigh them up. And we learn. The starting point for the first reading is a whole population complaining. Crying out, we would prefer to go back to slavery rather than have to endure the trials of freedom. Maybe we were better off as slaves than to be free. Big temptation many times. We don't like the conditions of our freedom. It's too much to bear. And then the leadership complains. God, I didn't create this people. It's your problem. And there's a lot of truth in the fact that God is the one who solves the problem. He comes to our aid. And so we sing with the psalm, sing with joy to God our help. Our help is in the name of the Lord who made heaven and earth. Our help is in the name of the Lord who made heaven and earth. Sing with joy to God our help. But actually the text of this psalm, which has this verse very early in the psalm, sing with joy to God our help, is a reproach of God, expressed obviously by the writer, by the prophet, in human words. The difficulty of dealing with people with hardened hearts. And parents know this with their children. And also the challenge for parents to bring children from total dependency gradually, step by step, to lesser levels of dependency and more self-management, more self-provision. Now it's the child's turn to learn to clean their room. It's the child's turn to help a younger sibling. growth of the human being. And so the second story is a contrast, an interesting contrast, because the story doesn't start with a complaint, it starts with provision. But it's an interesting provision, self-provision. So the disciples feel a certain responsibility for the people, and they want to avoid more responsibility, so they say to Jesus, send them home. They're going to be hungry, there's nothing here for them. They want to hang around to hear your teaching, to have sick people blessed and healed. Send them home because it's outside of our strength to provide for them. I imagine many times parents are at their wits' end how they will provide for their children, financially, medically. But in a way they can't send them home because they're at home. They're still without the means. That's the case of so many today for various reasons. Their homes are shredded, their resources are destroyed. Very difficult situation. Forced into migration. Trafficked. And Jesus says, feed them yourselves. Give them to eat. But this is a deserted place. We only have 5 loaves and 2 fish. And this was the cry always, the expectation for redemption. The expectation from redemption, where it comes from. Our prayer also must become words of action, actions that become words of prayer. A compassion linked to a generosity with the little we have. And they all ate and were satisfied. This compassion and generosity with the little we have was deeply connected to the prayer of Jesus, to the Father, thanking him. So if we look at all the, let's say, the component elements of the drama, in both cases, complaint goes upward to further complaint. And the end of the story will probably be in tomorrow's reading. I didn't check. And the second story compassion, and yet more or less provision, first of all, to get rid of the problem, but compassion to deal with it, generosity to deal with it, prayer to deal with it. And none of us are short of problems and challenges. So maybe we can get light from these accounts and inspiration. And we can sing, "The Lord is our help." People, God bless you. See you later, alligators. Have a blessed week.